I'm Dave from With All I Have, and this is my review of the curved Belgie Spirit. I've been riding this bike for about 6 months now. I've done a lot of Ks on it. I love the guts out of it, so I thought I'd show you why and what makes it so special to me. So here we go. Now this is the guy here, titanium bike, endurance frame, able to take larger tyres, and it's got a few little features that help make the bike a little bit more compliant. I've got a set of curved G4 rims at 25mm depth on there, a SRAM Red 22 hydraulic group set, and a few other little features that make this bike pretty special. All round, probably the biggest impression I get out of this is this bike is very fast. It is really stiff through the bottom bracket. The handling is excellent through the front end, particularly you might notice after I put a downward angle front stem on there, and I'll get more into that in a little minute. But super comfortable. You get a lot of compliance out of the fork, particularly obviously with the 32mm tyres that I'm running on there, and a lot of compliance in the rear end. Now the fork itself is the curved CCRD front fork. It starts off quite fat at the top and really bulky, but really tapers down quite narrow down the bottom. At the first I thought, you know what, that might be a little bit too flexible altogether. But once taking it down some really big, really gnarly descents, I found it really tracks and holds a line well. You can descend very quickly. I even managed to get a comment on Strava on this guy. But then you take that over gravel roads or some really rough roads, something like that, that compliance is just wonderful. The G4 rims themselves, you can see they've got this 3K weave curve, call it their dragon skin technology. Really light, really stiff. They're a 24 spoke double cross pattern, both front and rear. Look, excellent, really nice light stiff rim. I'd love to see them in a tubeless version. Curve made them more to be a specific road, a lightweight road version. They do tubeless versions as well, so that'll be after something I'll get in the future. The one gripe I do have about this bike, to be honest, is the front skewer you get. There are 12mm through axle front and rear. The front skewer it sits out pretty bulky there. You can see it sort of hangs out a fair way. Mine's eventually turned so the bottom of it's facing down. I don't have any other option. It does look cool because it's got the curved chevrons on there, but at some point in time I'm probably going to replace that with the DT Swiss front skewer. Getting onto it, you can see I went for a tuned stem. That was so I could get a 17-degree down angle stem in the length that I wanted, so that in an overall position it didn't feel too much like I was sitting up a lot. Endurance bikes can obviously have that higher position that some people like. I'm not a massive fan of that myself. I still like the compliance of an endurance bike, but I like to be able to sit in a slightly more aggressive position. So I got that down angle stem. It doesn't look too horrendous, just gets my bars back into a normal position. I went with a set of the Syntace Racelight Carbon bars. These guys here, they've got, you can sort of see on the top there, a slight back sweep. So from the center, they sweep backwards just a little bit. I find that really comfortable when you're sitting on the tops there. And in particular, you notice that they've got a very pronounced angle for the sitting in the drops. And when you're descending and just holding on there, really locks your hands in this super comfortable position. I love those bars. I went for the 400mm version, which is actually a 38 if you measure it center to center. It's 400 outside to outside, which is fairly narrow. I'm 184 centimeters tall, but I just kind of like it. It just felt right. So, and being carbon, they've got quite a nice flex to them. I've got on this bike the Racewear Direct dual purpose Garmin mount. So the Garmin mount on top with a little GoPro mount underneath. I've got a little mount to hold another light in there. You can get those from Full Beam Australia. They're a cracking little unit. SRAM Red shifters, look, they work. The double tap, the brakes are awesome. It's not necessarily a review of the SRAM Red stuff, but they're cracking units. On this bike, I went for a set of the King Cage titanium bottle cages that cost me $172, which kind of does make me a full-blown wanker, but whatevs. It's a titanium bike. They're super light and they're awesome. The Syntace P6 High Flex seat post was the other choice. I went from Syntace for this one. On the inside, it's actually not perfectly round. It's ovalized and it's carbon, so it does have a little bit of flex to be able to, for a little bit of sideways movement in there. It takes some of those bigger hits out of the bike. Specialized toupee saddle. It's an all carbon saddle. They're crazy, like it's something like 120 grams. I've done bullshit numbers of Ks on that, so I put that on there. Just on the back, you see another little Raceware direct mount. That's just for a little light that goes in the back. You can also have that as a GoPro mount if you really want to see everything. Actually, I complained about the Skewer before, but the bike did come with a curve titanium seat post clamp, and I just couldn't get the titanium on titanium to not creak. I tried greasing it, different greases, all sorts of stuff, and it would always just have this little squeak with titanium. So I went for the Thompson one, aluminium, steel bolt, and haven't had a problem ever since. Now you can sort of see from here how sweet the welds are on this. Like you can see there, they're just ultra fine. Really, really lovely little welds in this bike. Really finished together quite nicely. The bare frame, when it comes in the box, is just outstanding. Even around the dropouts at the rear, it's a perfect little unit. Now, speaking of the rear dropouts, when you look at the rear stays, you can see the compliance they've built into the bike with quite a pronounced curve, both on the seat stays and on the chain stays on the side. Gives you really nice compliance through the rear of the frame. Takes a lot of the big bumps out of it. Other than that, I run a compact. I run 1132. You can pretty much ride anywhere on that. Curved Belgie Spirit, what can I say? Buy one. It's an excellent bike. They descend beautifully, really stiff through the bottom bracket. They climb really nicely for long roads, long rides, should I say. They're just excellent. I tend to run mine with 32mm tyres as standard. Just I like the comfort of being able to ride gravel or anything anywhere I want, but you can go with what you like. Let me know what your thoughts are.